A very good morning to all my dear students. Once again, on behalf of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, I welcome each one of you who are here with us for today's new session, a new act that we are going to start, that is Indian Partnership Act 1932. So as always, let's have a good morning wishes with good morning, Sambhabi, Ajit, Shibha, Muhammad Ali, Gopal Krishna, Manisha. Thank you, Dharmendra, Dhairya, Ganga. Yes, I'm feeling quite well now. Harshika Singla, thank you so much. Chetan, Manmohan, Shiv Tripathi, Santosh Kumar, Jyoti, Vanchika, Shiva, Riddhi. Thank you so much. Sayam Jain, even I am equally excited and enthusiastic to take up a new session with all of you today. Yes, Mayur, the conference will be on 29th and 30th of January. You must attend that, and they have a small link given below where you can get yourself registered. So a nominal amount can be is to be paid for getting yourself registered for the conference. And my humble request, you all children must attend the conference. It would be a great learning experience for all you budding chartered accountants. Good morning, Priyanka, Jeet, Mayur, Surya Kumar, Mohammed Ahmed, Talat. Done the tests of the MCQs. That's wonderful. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now I think it's clear now because I just got a signal like there was a different variation. So should I begin from the beginning or we can continue? All right. All right, students. A very good morning to all of you. I think the video got stuck in between. So yes, Mr. Krishnan Singla. Definitely, we will be going together and we will be completing, starting with a partnership today. Mr. Abhinav Kumar, a very good morning. Vanchika, all those who have sent beautiful morning wishes, Isha, Simran, Rohit, Karan, very good morning to all of you. All right, children. So I was just sharing with you when the video got stuck in between that I hope you all have revised your sale of goods very well. And I can see only few of the queries have still come up, which definitely we'll try to take in between. So as promised, since we have ended with the sale of goods, I told you we'll be discussing 2 question papers related to Sale of Goods Act. We will see how the question papers come. So there are 2 suggested papers for you, which I really wanted to discuss before we start with your Indian Partnership Act. So children, today I will tell you how the kind of format, what kind of question paper, how the examiner sets the paper from each unit. So since we have already done sale of goods, so as I always tell my students, first always revise your content, then you should try moving to your mock test papers or maybe revision test papers or suggested answers. So Institute is hub of all these things, children. You just need to visit the Institute site and you can download any n number of question papers which have come in the previous years, as well as they have the mock test papers for all of you. The only thing is you need to open it and study it. Institute cannot come to your house to make you study. That is something which you have to do on your own. But they make so much effort so that you stay highly updated. Try to utilize all these kind of services. All right. So this is your question paper that I have taken from 2020. This is November 2020 question paper. So 2 papers we are going to discuss, 2020 and 2021. So let me tell you, children, first of all, 3 questions, generally the pattern that we are following for the sale of goods, around 16 marks paper comes from Sale of Goods Act. So since we have already done sale of goods, तो हम अभी बाकी questions read ही नहीं करेंगे. Like for example, ABC Limited companies का है. तो generally क्या होता है जब हमें पढ़ा ही नहीं होता हम वो question देखते हैं and we get scared. Oh my God, what is this associate company? So don't worry. Once I have done Companies Act with you, once again we'll come to this question paper and then I'll tell you what is associate company. So question number 1, C part, which is of 4 marks, is generally of Sale of Goods Act. So where do we get to see the first question of Sale of Goods Act in the question paper? Question number 1, C part, has the first 4 marks question of Sale of Goods Act. Now, any 4 exceptions to the doctrine of caveat emptor as per Sale of Goods Act. So I am 100% sure all the students who have studied the previous as well as the previous lecture, the day before previous lecture, that is on last Saturday, when we were discussing caveat emptor, conditions and implied warranties. After that, we have done the topic of caveat emptor. All of you must know the answer to this. So what was the rule of caveat emptor? We simply have to tell the examiner that this is the rule where the buyer must be aware before buying the goods. You cannot directly put the blame to the seller. But there are certain exceptions. He is only asking you 4 exceptions. 7 to 8 exceptions are given in your study material. You simply need to write any 4 of them. He has given you 8. He has given all these exceptions which are written over there in study material, children. So straight away direct answer. CA में foundation में आपको to the point answers लिखने हैं, stories नहीं लिखनी है. So one line you can tell what is doctrine of caveat emptor. Simply start with the exceptions. Number 1, fitness as to quality and use. You have done all these exceptions. There are cases where the implied condition is going to get breached. So if the goods are not as per the sample, if they're not as per the description, if they're not of mercantile quality, if they're not as per the quality or usage, reasonably they're not fit, then it is the duty of the seller. He will be liable in such cases. So कोई भी 4 आप लिख दोगे, आपके full 4 marks मिल जाएंगे. समझ गए? But अगर आप बोलोगे मैम मैंने caveat emptor में implied warranty लिख दिया, related question का answer ही नहीं दिया, फिर don't expect the marks. It's not your BCom or MCom paper. You can just jump in and write whatever you feel like and you'll get marks. You have to write straight to the point and a relevant answer in order to get marks. Those who are writing, ma'am, we have to write the sections. It's not at all mandatory, compulsory nahi hai. You remember the sections, write it. Otherwise, CA foundation mein you can leave the sections. It is not compulsory. समझ आ गया? Question number 1. Third part, 4 marks का sale of goods. हमने कर लिया, हमें आता था. All right. Now let's go and find the second question that generally falls in is your descriptive case study related question. So let me show you where it has come. So all these contract act, partnership, contract act you must have done by now. So you can revise that, and partnership. Once I have done the partnership with you, we'll again come to the questions related to partnership. So second, children, you can write down question number 4A part for 6 marks is most of the time from sale of goods. So 4 marks caveat emptor हमने अभी कर लिया, हमें clear हो गया. Second chapter में से question आया था, अब third chapter में से straight away 6 marks in your pocket, a straight away question has come. So you have to write 6 circumstances in which a non-owner can convey a better title to the bona fide purchaser of goods. So this topic relates to which topic is it talking about? Yes? Can you tell me? Answer me, children. Question number 4A part relates to what topic? You have to write down exceptions to the rule of. Come on, tell me. Let me see. Vanchika, I hope it's clear now. Jaspreet, Kamalakshi, Vanchika, Ankit, all of you have written correct. Somebody is asking word limit in the exam. There is no word limit. You don't need to count your words and write how many words you have done. You simply have to write the relevant and straightforward answer. Don't worry, Vanchika Gupta, we can take up the queries related to that act as well, but later on. But first we have to complete our sale of goods is already done. Partnership we'll complete, then we can think about that. Yes, Mr. Ankit Mishra, definitely you should try making the notes in your own language. It always sounds helpful. So are you telling me the answer for this one? Are you giving me the answer? So this topic relates to straight away 6 exceptions where I told you that only an owner can pass the title. Nemo that cord non-habit. No one can pass what himself does not have. So what were the 6 cases? For example, a mercantile agent can pass a title, a non-owner, even if non-owner, if you're not the owner of the goods, then also title. Remember the title to the goods, the ownership. Definitely. Excellent, Akshnil, Vidya, Kushagar, Sanyam Jain, Sakshi Chandan, Bhumika, Piyush, Rahul. Those who have written, ma'am, this topic relates directly to the transfer of title by non-owner, section 27. Give yourself a patting. Very good, children. I know you all are very new to the syllabus, so it gives me a very proud feeling when you have revised your content and you're able to give me an answers equivalent to that. Yes, Chandan Shah, you can write in your own language, but you should first follow the study material, whatever is written in there. Whatever analysis they have written, that is always in a simpler language. So you can learn that and write. So my children know now sale by non-owners, by joint owners, in possession under voidable contract. Somebody was having a query last time. We resolved this one. How the buyer having the possession can sell it. How the seller having the possession can sell it. Effect of estoppel. Sale by unpaid seller. Straight away 6 marks question. So आप लोगों ने 10 marks sale of goods में से आज जीत लिए हैं क्योंकि आपने मुझे खुद आंसर करा. Clear हो गया? Now let's go to the descriptive question, which is generally your part of the last question, C part. अभी मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ. So 2 questions, 4 marks and 6 marks का straightforward question आया हुआ था. And there is another question, which is your case study, which you call a descriptive study related question. It is generally in question number 5. Yes, here it is. So question number 5, examiner is asking you, this is your case study question. This is again 6 marks question. So question number 1, part C, 4 marks, sale of goods. Abhi, the question we just did, the first part, 6 marks, straight away question. That is also from sale of goods. Question number 5, part A is always a case study from Sale of Goods Act, 6 marks. So 6 plus 6, 12 plus 4, 16 marks का paper आपका Sale of Goods में से आता है. Now comes an answer to your question, ma'am, how to write an answer to a descriptive case study. So let us see that. Miss R owns a 2-wheeler which she has handed over to her friend Miss K on sale or return basis. अब मेरे साथ जिन्होंने प्रीवियस क्लास लगाई है, they can all recall that guitar example. It is relating to that sale on return or approval basis. Even after a week, Miss K neither returned the vehicle nor made the payment. Instead, she pledged the vehicle to Mr. A to obtain a loan. You all know the meaning of pledge. She has given the vehicle to someone else in order to take a loan. Now, R wants to claim the 2-wheeler from A. Who is R? The seller, the innocent seller. He said, you did not even return me and you did not even intimate me. But she has done something by which she has shown her acceptance. Now, can this Mr. Seller R go and claim the 2-wheeler from A? Pehla question hai, will she succeed? Examine the reference of provisions of sale of goods. What recourse is available to Miss R? कह रहे Miss R क्या action ले सकती है with reference to Sale of Goods Act? Would your answer be different if it had been expressly provided that the vehicle would remain the property until the price has been paid? So क्या कर दिया उसने? Combine कर दिया. कहता है अगर अनपेड सेलर बन जाएगा क्या तब भी उसकी प्रॉपर्टी रहेगी या ट्रांसफर एक्सेप्ट कर लिया जाए? So we have understood the question. Let us read what answer the examiner is expecting you and how you have to write it. Now, as per the provisions of section 24, ध्यान से सुनना. If you don't remember section 24, then all my children will write down as per the provisions of Sale of Goods Act. हटा दो section 24, मैं नहीं कह रही लिखो, but आप ऐसे शुरू करोगे. As per the provisions of Sale of Goods Act, when the goods are delivered to the buyer on approval or sale or return basis, then what happens? The property passes to the buyer. Number 1, if he expressly tells you. Number 2, if he does not send his acceptance, but he retained the goods. Or we also understood the third case, where the buyer has done something which is equivalent. Equivalent means इसके बराबर है कि उसने goods accept कर लिए हैं. So, my dear children, what have I written? I have written the concern provision. मैंने आपको reference बता दिया. So, the first paragraph in the case study will always be this question relates to this particular provision. You have to define what is written under the Act. Now, this definition of section 24, you want to write in your own words, you can write in your own words, but you have to tell the examiner that as per the provisions of Sale of Goods Act, this is what sale on approval and return basis means. समझ गए? फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ सबको समझ आ गया. ऑलराइट, नाउ लेट्स गो टू द सेकंड पैराग्राफ. अब हमने एनालिसिस करना है, अब हमने बताना है कि हमें क्या दिया गया है क्वेश्चन में. सो रेफरिंग टू द अबव प्रोविजंस वी कैन एनालाइज द सिचुएशन. सो उसने कहा फर्स्ट सिचुएशन में हम फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. Now this is Miss K who has taken the delivery, has pledged the two-wheeler. अपने आप नहीं लिख रहे, क्वेश्चन में से ले रहे हो, आपको तो स्टोरी दी हुई है, कॉम्प्रिहेंशन बनी बनाई है आपके पास. You just have to write what the examiner has written in the question. So you tell the examiner that this Miss K has already pledged the goods to Mr. A. So she has attracted the third condition. Which condition she has fulfilled? Point number 3, C part. She has done something which is equivalent to acceptance of the goods. Now, this will be your third paragraph conclusion. Therefore, the property passes to Mr. A. Now, R cannot claim back her two-wheeler, but she can claim the price from Miss K only. अब क्या होगा? K ने तो goods दे दिए A को. Remember? When I told you that I have done something, that means I have shown the acceptance. Now, my seller will not go to Mr. A and take the goods back, but he can recover his prize money from the buyer. K को तो बोलेगा ना भाई फिर मेरा पैसा दे, goods तो तूने आगे pledge कर दिए पर मेरी तो payment करो. So simple. In this case, he will simply ask Miss K to do the payment and he cannot take the goods back from Mr. A. समझ आ गया सबको फर्स्ट पॉइंट. अब सेकंड देखते हैं. सेकंड में उसने एक ट्विस्ट दिया हुआ. It says it may be noted that the goods have been delivered by a person on sale or in return. So in this case, it is held the time of the pledge. The ownership will not pass. Pledge will not be valid. Therefore, now we can recover the two-wheeler from Mr. A. क्यों कर सकते हो? क्योंकि उसने बोल दिया ना, क्वेश्चन में स्पेसिफिकली कह दिया कंडीशनल एप्रोप्रिएशन. Section 23 will become applicable here. He has conditionally appropriated. The payment is the condition which has been attached. So where the seller has expressly mentioned, express condition, section 25, अगर मैंने लगा दी है, that I have expressly told him that you cannot take my goods, you cannot take the property unless you pay the price. Here, even if you pledge my goods, I have the right to take my goods back. समझ आ गया? So straight away 6 marks. So today you have cleared the question paper and you have won 16 marks from Sale of Goods Act. Okay. So second question paper also I wanted to do with you, but I think let's start with Indian Partnership Act and then maybe in between we can jump into the descriptive case study. So children, now you have understood 3 thumb rule that you have to remember in case of writing the case study is: number 1, you will write the concern provisions. Number 2, you will write the facts of the case. Number 3, you will write the conclusion. In my next presentation, I will give you one such case study in which the format of the answer also I'll write for you so that you can directly learn how the format has to be used. Clear, okay? Everyone is obvious. So 16 to 18 mark questions generally come from sale of goods, and this is how we have to attempt them and we have to write them. Now I request all my students to come out of sale of goods and let's land in a new act, that is Indian Partnership Act 1932. So earlier Indian Partnership Act, before 1932, Indian Partnership Act was part of which act? Tell me, students. I have told you in the previous session when we started with sale of goods. So let me see how your memory is, how bad or how poor it is. Do you remember I told you that the Indian Partnership Act before 1932, it was part of a certain certain act. Please name the act to which it was earlier related to. Kaushik and others, I hope the screen is now clearly visible to you children. Maybe somebody is having a connection problem at there, and that's why, because I can get the answers also. Sheba and Paras has sent me the answers also. A can claim the prize money or whatever we have discussed. Yes, Paras Singla, you definitely get marks for the descriptive case study if you write them in the same paragraph. So, Sakshi, there is some internet issue at your end because I have got the answer for this question that I've just asked. Well done, Mr. Reddy, Priyanka, Khushi, Harshika, Bhumika, Varun, Mansi, Manisha, Jyoti, Sanyam, Jain, Kushagar, Sarthak, Abdul, Chetan, Santosh, Ajit. All of you have answered me correctly. So, Indian Partnership Act was earlier part of the Indian Contract Act. So children, I told you Indian Contract Act 1872 became so huge that the entire sale of goods was removed in 1930, and a separate act of sale of goods was made. And on the same date, I told you that all the provisions related to the partners. So what is Partnership Act? I'm just going to tell you. But as of now, just understand that whatever the partners come together, how they do the business, how the firm needs to get registered, whatever disputes and fights we have among the partners, how they are behaving, all these provisions are governed by the Indian Partnership Act 1932. So both these acts, sale of goods and partnership, were earlier part of Indian Contract Act only. So now we generally call them the babies of Indian Contract Act. So Indian Contract Act became so huge that sale of goods was made a separate act and Indian Partnership was also made a separate act. But they are having their, they have in their blood, the Indian Contract Act is only running because ye wahin se nikal kar aaye. So again, then we will be forming a partnership together. We'll be joining hands to have a partnership. We will again be forming a contract among us. And in this partnership, we'll be calling it an agreement, a partnership deal. So always remember, Indian Partnership and Sale of Goods have come from Indian Contract Act itself. But since Indian Contract Act became very huge, it had number of provisions. Therefore, a separate act, Indian Partnership Act 1932, was made, which exclusively deals with your partnership provisions. Firm kaise banni hai, firm kaise dissolve honi hai, how to get yourself registered, how many partners can join in, how the partners will leave the firm. All these rules and regulations related to your partnership are governed under Indian Partnership Act 1932. Now, let us read the definition given under Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932. If you can see all these 5-6 people who have come together and they're joining hands. So in the previous examples, we all were going for the shopping, we were purchasing washing machines, televisions in order to do the sale of goods. Today, onwards, we will be forming partnership with each other. We will be running a business. We'll be carrying the business for the profits, and we'll be understanding how we are liable for each other's actions. Okay. So I urge once again to come out of Sale of Goods Act and be here with me under the Indian Partnership Act. Mr. Vijay, you can ask your specific query if you want to ask anything. So Jaspreet Kaur, you are the wrong one who has written Companies Act. Otherwise, everyone has written it is Indian Contract Act. So that is absolutely correct. It was earlier part of Indian Contract Act. Definitely, Miss Komal, we can share a story about how to preparing for the exams also. But these kind of motivations you can take from me only after the lecture, because otherwise then our partnership will be left behind, bacha. I'll definitely try to encourage you for that as well. All right. So let us do the definition given under Section 4. It says partnership is the relationship. So first word that I'm using is partnership is the relationship. Number 2, between whom? Between the persons who have agreed to share the profits of the business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. Now this last line, really bothers my students a lot. But trust me, within another 10 to 15 minutes, you will be answering me, what does this mean? So the first point is partnership is the relationship between persons. So can we say that the partnership can be formed between a table and a chair, or maybe between the firms itself? It says log chahiye hame iske liye. Persons is the first condition. So all these individuals whom you can see they're joining hands, it is must that 2 to 3 people come together and form a partnership. Now, before we do this definition, let me make you understand there is a term known as sole proprietor. So children, if I am running a business of sale and purchase of cloth and I have set up a shop in Sector 17 in Chandigarh, so who am I? I am a sole proprietor. So if I want to get into a partnership, I need to have an agreement with other persons as well. So minimum 2 or more people are required in order to form a partnership firm. Can you say if I am a sole proprietor, I can be a partner also in my firm? No, you need people in order to form a partnership. So in a sole proprietor, so these are different forms of organization. If you have not done 11th, 12th in commerce, if you have not studied business studies, so let me tell you children, there are different forms of organization. Organization can be a sole proprietor, it can be a partnership, it can be a company, maybe public or private company. ये होती है डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कि आपने कैसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का सेटअप करना है, उसके बेस पे हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि व्हाट आर दी फीचर्स एप्लीकेबल टू आवर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. So where have I set up a shop in Sector 17? I am the sole proprietor. So I will be taking all the business management decisions. I will be deciding my boarding pass. I will be taking all the calls for the decisions that I need to take for my business. So I am the sole proprietor. I am the whole sole owner of my business, and I am liable for everything that I have in my business. So I will be the one who will be paying to my debtors, creditors, and whatever transactions I have to do. So I will be the only responsible person, whatever actions I take for my business. But say, for example, now I want to expand my business and I have hired Mr. Ram as an employee in my business. So I am really burdened with my work. So I hired a person, Mr. Ram, to work with me in my shop. So does that mean that Ram becomes my partner? Give me an answer, yes or no. If I've hired Ram to help me in my business, so who is he? Ram will be considered as my employee because I'm paying salary to him. He will never be my partner. But when I say that I want to expand my business and I signed an agreement with another person, that is Mr. Ram, then we can say if we are sharing the profits, we become partners. So this is what generally your sole proprietor and partnership has the difference. Sole proprietor means only individual who is running the business. If I'm hiring some Mr. Ram, Karan, Rohit, Rahul, अगर मैंने business में दुकान में बंदा रखा है जिसको मैं salary दे रही हूँ काम करने के लिए, he is not having any partnership with me. But when relationship between persons means when I get in touch with certain people and I join hands with them, number one, I have made an agreement with them. Number two, number three, the agreement is to share the profits. Number four, of a business, and we are liable for our actions. Very, very important. Then only it becomes a partnership firm. Now, forming a partnership, number one point you have understood that it is a relationship between persons. One person cannot have a single person cannot be a partner. You ask me about one person company, that is a different concept which we understand when we go to the Companies Act. Yes, a single person can set up a company. But when we are talking about a sole proprietor and partnership, they are different. So one person cannot be the partner. We need minimum two or more persons. Okay? Number two, there must be an agreement. What kind of agreement? To share the profits. So when I have appointed this Mr. Ram as an employee, he is not my partner. But when I sign an agreement with Ram that, okay, fine, we are going to do business together, then we share the profits of that business collectively, whatever business we are doing, we're sharing the profits out of that. Then he become my partner. And what is the meaning of this line, ma'am? You did not tell us carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. Now listen very carefully to this example. It says A, B, and C are three partners in a firm. They are dealing in sale and purchase of machinery. Now, this Mr. A went and purchased all the machineries for the purpose of business from Mr. D. Do you think that tomorrow Mr. D can come and ask for the payment from Mr. B and C as well? Listen carefully, you have to answer me this question. A, B, and C are three partners in a partnership firm, ABC Associates. A went and purchased all the machinery for the purpose of business. अगर लिख रहे हो तो लिख लेना for the purpose of business. अपने घर के लिए मशीनरी खरीदने गए हो, फिर B and C की कोई liability नहीं है. I'm saying Mr. A went to purchase the machinery from Mr. D for the purpose of business. Do you think, children, that now this Mr. D can recover the money from other partners as well, B and C as well? क्या वो B and C को आकर बोल सकता है कि जी आपका एक पार्टनर मेरे से सामान खरीदना, आप पेमेंट कीजिए? Yes or no? Let me see how much my children know. Very good for the first answer. Sarvesh, Simran, Rahul, Mayur, Hira, Dhruv. Employee बनेगा, partner नहीं बनेगा in the previous question. That's good. हिंदी में समझाएं मैम, मिस्टर विजय गौरव इज सेइंग। बच्चा हिंदी की क्लास नहीं है ये, इंग्लिश में ही चलेगी। बीच बीच में आई कैन ट्राई टू ट्रांसलेट द थिंग्स इन हिंदी, बट वी कैन नॉट teach the entire subject in Hindi. We have to follow the guidelines of the institute as well. Arnav Ghosh, we'll come to the maximum number of partners as well. So let's stick to the first question that I've asked you right now. Again, Varun is jumping to artificial person. I will explain you. Krishna Singhal, yes, you must refer to the study material, but you must see that you follow the latest one along with amendments. If you are asking for December, you have the study material, so it is absolutely fine. You can follow the same one. Thank you, Sakshi. I am glad to know that law has become your favorite subject. You enjoy studying with me. That's great. Okay, so now let me announce the person who has written the correct answer for the first time. Yes, because all the partners are responsible. Mr. Sambat is the first one to answer me correctly. Harshika, Sarthak, Abdul have also answered the same. Rahul Yadav, Rahul Singh, Sarvesh, Mohammed, oh my God, so many. Barna, Ruchi, everyone is answering correct. Yes, ma'am, because all the partners are liable for the business transactions. Excellent, children. Now this, yes, that you have answered me and you're telling me, ma'am, all the partners are liable. This is the meaning of this statement, which we know as the principle of mutual agency. So please write down, children, all the partners in the partnership firm, all the partners in the partnership firm are principal as well as agent of each other. So that means if A does anything, B and C are also liable for that. If B does anything, A and C will also be liable. Similarly, if C takes any actions for the purpose of business, A and B will be liable for that as well. Because they are having a partnership among each other, they are holding each other responsible for their actions. So principle of mutual agency means that the partners are responsible for each other's actions. Yes, Pragya, that is absolutely correct. Mr. Dharmendra, why are you jumping to the next topic of difference between company and firm? अभी तो बच्चा chapter शुरू है. I'll explain you everything. Yes, you can write the examples in your own word also, Vanchika. It's absolutely fine. All right. So now we have understood the definition, children, and you have written certain points also. Now, if you ask me, ma'am, what are the essential elements of partnership? These are the same essential elements. We break the definition into 5 essential elements. This is what we have to understand when we talk about the elements of partnership. So what all are we going to cover today? We'll be covering about the essential elements which are defined under section 4. We'll be covering section 6, which tells how you have to truly test whether it is a partnership or any other form of organization, and the points of differences from all other forms of organization. Types of partners we'll be starting in our next lecture. So these are the 3 topics that we will try to cover up in today's session. So what are the essential elements? Number 1 essential elements, we have understood that it is an association of 2 or more persons. Number 2 point is there must be an agreement entered into by all the persons concerned. Now this agreement is also known as partnership deed. What do you call it? We also call it partnership deed. It can be a written agreement or in the oral agreement or by certain implied conduct. When the partners have decided, they have said to form a partnership firm. Point number 3 is very important. So the partnership must be to carry on the business. Say, for example, if Mr. P and Q are getting certain rental incomes for a big plot of land. So Mr. P and Q are 2 brothers and they have a big plot of land from where they get the rental incomes. So every month 20,000 rent comes to them. And they have made an agreement among themselves that whenever the rent comes, we'll divide that rent among ourselves. So do you think they're doing any business? क्या वो कोई बिजनेस कर रहे हैं? अगर आपको रेगुलर रेंटल इनकम्स आ रही हैं और आप इनकम को आपस में घर में डिवाइड कर रहे हो, तो क्या आप कोई बिजनेस कर रहे हो? The answer is no. This is simply a case of co-ownership. You are just the owners of a particular land and you're dividing the share among yourself. So law says then it will not be a partnership. In order to be called a partnership firm, you must have a business. So if we say the same brothers, they are property dealers and they are into the business of sale and purchase of buildings, then yes, ma'am, they are doing a business and they have agreed to share the profits of the business. So you have to understand each and every case very carefully. We'll be doing n number of examples today when we talk about partnership being different from other forms of organization. So जब भी आपने ये डिसाइड करना है कि ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पार्टनरशिप है या नहीं, ये 5 एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स मस्ट है एक पार्टनरशिप को डिफाइन करने के लिए. पहली बात तो 2 and more persons होने चाहिए, एग्रीमेंट होनी चाहिए, बिजनेस होना चाहिए. And the business motive should be to earn profits. If I say I have a business that I purchase the mobile phone for 20,000 and I sell it for 20,000. Then again I purchase it for 40,000 and I sell it for 40,000. Do I have a motive of earning profits or no? No, ma'am, you're just doing a sale purchase at same cost. ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट पे कर रही हूँ मैं, तो कोई प्रॉफिट ही नहीं अर्न करी. वो कहते हैं फिर आप पार्टनरशिप नहीं हो. फिर अगर ए बी एंड सी सेम रेट पे सामान बेच रहे हैं एंड दे डोंट हैव एनी मोटिव ऑफ अर्निंग प्रॉफिट, देन इट इज नॉट नोन एज पार्टनरशिप फर्म. इट सेज इन ऑर्डर टू हैव अ पार्टनरशिप you must have a business and the motive means the purpose of the business must be to earn profits. So earning profits and then sharing the profits also. If I say only A has kept the entire profits and he is not giving anything to B and C, is it good? Again, the answer is no. You have to share the profits. And my dear children, quickly tell me, how do we share the profits in the partnership firm? In what ratio do we need to share the profits? How do we share the profits, children? We share the profits in the, yes, profit sharing ratio, which we have decided as per the partnership agreement. And if we have not decided any ratio, then we share the profits equally. My children know these things. They have been doing accounts as well. So very good. Those who have answered in the profit sharing ratio given in the agreement, and if no ratio is given, then all the partners must share the profits and losses equally. And the last point is your last principle, essential element is that the principle of mutual agency is followed. That is, whatever one of the partners is doing, the other partners also become liable for their actions. So this is known as the principle of mutual agency. But before we proceed to the true test, let us first see all the essential elements from the study material as well. So what does the study tells us? How we define the partnership? Let us just go through the study also, because many of you keep telling me, ma'am, we have old copy of study material. So you can mark down the points of differences, if any, from this copy as well. So definition of partnership, you all know section 4. Now you have just done the definition. So this is the relationship between persons who have agreed to share the profits of the business and they are also holding each other liable for that. Who is a partner? A, B, C individually are called partners and together they are called a firm. So collectively means together. So when we say collectively means together, the partners are known as, together they will be known as firm, and individually we are known as partners. And what is the firm name under which you are carrying the business is known as the name of the firm. So if I'm having the name ABC Associates, so that is the name of my firm. ABC are partners and ABC will together be known as firm. So these are the just essential elements we have just read. So number 1, it says partnership is having 2 or more persons. So minimum 2 persons must be there in order to form a partnership. Now comes your cap of maximum limit. So before that it says a firm, since it is not a person recognized by law, cannot be a partner. Now this is something very, very interesting. It says only the persons recognized by law. So it says a natural person can be a partner And an artificial person can also be a partner. Who is this artificial person? Artificial person means a company can also be a partner. Now, why company is known as artificial person? We have full-fledged chapters on Companies Act. I'll tell you how the company gets its corporate legal existence. But abhi ke liye humne ye yaad rakhna hai कि company can be a partner. Means I can have a partner like Mr. A as a partner in my firm, B Limited, and C. So A and C are individuals. B Limited is a company. So A, B Limited and C can be a partners in a partnership firm. इस लाइन का मतलब क्या है? Person recognized by law. It means a company can also enter into an agreement of partnership. But a firm cannot be a partner. So wherein you say that ABC Associates, अगर मैं बोलूं कि ABC Associates are the firm, so ABC Associates cannot be a partner in other firm. ABC Associates अपने आप में तो एक फर्म है, but ABC Associates पार्टनर नहीं बन सकती. But क्या A Limited पार्टनर बन सकती है? A Limited can be a partner in a firm. समझ आ गया? Firm cannot be a partner in another firm because it is not recognized. It is not a legal, because firm does not have its own legal existence. Na? But a company has its own corporate legal existence. Therefore, a company can be a partner in another firm. Clear हो गया point? अब आ जाते हैं minor के ऊपर. Minor cannot be a partner. Why a minor cannot be a partner? How the minor is admitted? Chapter number 2 we will discuss how the minor becomes a partner. अभी के लिए हमने एक चीज ये learn कर ली कि company can be a partner, firm cannot be a partner. Second चीज हमने ये mark कर ली इसमें that cannot join a partnership firm because minor does not have any liability. He is not competent to enter into a contract. Remember Indian Contract Act, you must have studied minor, a small baby who is not a baby, less than 18 years of age at least. So even if you are 17 and a half years of age, you cannot join a firm. But if all the other partners consent means if the other partners accept, we can still allow him to join us for the profits of the partnership, but he will never be liable for the losses. So minor cannot be partner, but he can join for the benefits of the partnership. And point number 3, it says the Partnership Act is silent about the maximum number of partners. पार्टनरशिप एक्ट नहीं बता रहा कि कितने पार्टनर्स हो सकते हैं, बट कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 कहता है कि 50 पार्टनर्स होनी चाहिए, मैक्सिमम 50 पार्टनर्स. As per the company's rules 2014, they have extended the cap limit to the 100 partners. So where is the maximum number of partners limit described? It is described under the Companies Act 2013 and the rules, companies rules 2014 tells us the maximum cap of 100. Now second point is about the agreement. We have already had a discussion. Partnership can be arising out of an agreement. It can be express. Express means bolkar. Implied means we do something which tells that we have a partnership among each other. Okay? It may be oral or it may be in writing. बिजनेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड एक्विजिशन ऑफ गेन. सो 2 चीजें समझने वाली कौन सी थी? एक तो बिजनेस होना चाहिए. वी जस्ट अंडरस्टूड फ्रॉम दैट रेंट एग्जांपल, you can write in your notebooks that only if rental incomes are coming, there is no business, it will not be partnership. But if you are having a sale purchase of property, you are property dealers, then it will be considered as a business, but the business must be to acquire gains. If no profit, no gains, then not a partnership, but only if you're acquiring gains and also you're sharing the profits, then it becomes partnership. So how we share the profits? So these are the same examples which are given here. Co-owners sharing something among themselves, children, it is not a business, so no partnership. Charitable institutions will not be considered as a partnership because they are for non-economic purposes. They don't have any business motive. Charitable institutions या clubs जो हैं, उनका कोई business motive नहीं है. वो तो सिर्फ help कर रहे हैं society की help के लिए. X and Y buy certain bales of cotton which they agree to sell on their joint account and they decided that they will be sharing the profits equally. Now they can be considered as the partners. Why? Because 2 or more persons, yes ma'am, 2 or more persons, they have an agreement, yes, they have an agreement. So X and Y are two. Condition is met, agreement condition is met, they're doing a business. Yes, ma'am, they're selling on joint account. Fourth point, they're sharing the profits. Yes, ma'am, they're sharing the profits. Are they liable for each other? Yes, if they are liable for each other because they're doing their joint account. Na? दोनों एक दूसरे के liable है. Therefore, now they can be called as partners in a firm. And fifth point, you have already understood that the partners should be liable for each other's action. So the business must be carried by all or any one of the partners. I'll take a small break over here for 2 minutes and then we will start continuing from mutual agency principle. All right, let's take a small break. Yes, children, I have gone through your queries. Somebody is asking Kshitij Kumar about unsound mind. So, child, you only tell me you have done Indian Contract Act. If a person is of unsound mind, can he be admitted in a partnership or any other form of organization? So the answer is no, because he must be competent to enter into a contract. So like the way minor cannot enter into a contract, we have certain provisions for minor because he can be admitted for the benefits of partnership. But a person definitely should be of sound mind in order to do business transactions. Otherwise, he cannot be a part of any kind of contract. All right. Yes, Sanyam Jain, anybody who is disqualified by law on sound mind, he cannot be a partner. Okay, those who are still asking about the number of partners, children, minimum 2 partners are compulsory in order to begin a partnership firm. But I just now told you, as per the Companies Act 2013, there is a cap limit which has been fixed for the maximum limit of 50 partners. And if you ask me how you have to write it, you will always write that Companies Act 2013 has given us the maximum cap of 50 partners. If you can remember the company's rules, which has lastly come in 2014, you can mention a cap limit of 100 partners, but otherwise your study is telling you about the limit of 50. See, whenever we have a certain amendment, then that amendment overrules what is given in the Act. So Act has given a maximum cap of 50, but if you go to the rules, you can simply write that the company rules define it. The maximum number of the partners can be 100. Okay. Okay, so NPOs, yes, non-profit organizations will not be considered as partnership. Manisha, we will do the differences between association of persons, then you'll understand that point. Okay, so here we were discussing about the business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. So it says that the business must be carried on by all or all of the partners or any of the partners who is acting for all. It becomes the liable to each other. This is the cardinal principle of partnership law. That means this is the lifeline. This is the major principle which tells us whether it is a partnership firm or not. So we have to see the principle of mutual agency. Like those who are asking me, ma'am, difference between association of persons and partnership. In any association of persons where you're just setting up maybe for a charitable purposes or maybe for religious purposes, if you have just come together and you have pooled your resources together in order to utilize them, there is absence of mutual agency relationship. You're not holding each other liable for your actions. Then it is not a partnership firm. So mutual agency is the basic feature, the basic principle. It is also known as true test of partnership. So true test of partnership means in order to decide which firm, which organization is a partnership or not, we have to see whether there is a principle of mutual agency present between the partners or no. If it is yes, then it is a partnership firm. If it is no, then it is not a partnership form of organization. What does it mean? It means there should be a binding contract of mutual agency. An act of one partner is in fact of act of all the other partners. So when we just started the session today, you told me, ma'am, if A is doing something, B and C are also liable to that. All the partners are principal and agent of other partners. He will bind the other partners by his act, and he's principal because he's bound by the act of other partners. So who is principal? Who is agent? Remember the example of mercantile agent? I told you if I am sitting over here in Chandigarh and I want to do certain business in Delhi. So I appointed Mr. X who will be doing business on my behalf in Delhi. And now he is selling and purchasing the cloth on my behalf in Delhi. So who am I? I am the principal. He is my agent. So he is, whatever his actions he is taking, I will also be liable for that because he is doing the business on my behalf. मेरे बिहाफ पे वो बिजनेस करे. सिमिलरली पार्टनर्स में कहा जाता है कि हर पार्टनर प्रिंसिपल भी है और एजेंट भी है क्योंकि वो एक दूसरे को लायबल होल्ड करते हैं. So true test of partnership is mutual agency rather than just sharing of profits. If you're just sharing the profits and we're not holding each other liable, then it says, sorry, there will not be a partnership. So both the principles are equally important in order to make a partnership firm. Now comes your interesting case law, KD Kamath and Company. So we are doing two case laws today. Number one case law that we'll be discussing is KD Kamath and Company. अब children, interesting part is KD Kamath and Company का जो case हुआ ये income tax department के साथ उनका कोई case हुआ था. They were having an issue when they went to the income tax officer for getting themselves registered. So you don't need to remember what was the issue, why they were not registered by the income tax authorities. What we have to understand is that the intention that the authorities, ITO, income tax officer, held that time is that they said KD Kamath is a sole proprietor. They are not partnership firm. What happened was there was this KD Kamath and Company. They were a partnership firm, but what was happening in this firm was all the important decisions and all the borrowing powers and everything was done by Mr. KD Kamath himself. Although there were other partners, there were another 3-4 partners also in this firm, but major decision making and everything was being done by Mr. KD Kamath. So when they went to ITO, income tax officer, for getting the firm registered, the ITO said that we will not register you because you're not partnership firm, you are just sole proprietor. Why? Because this KD Kamath is the only person who is taking wholesale decisions of the business. And right now also, I told you when I started with the session, if only one person is running the business and he is only taking the decision, then we call him sole proprietor. But this was not the case of KD Kamath. KD Kamath had other partners also. So KD Kamath went to the higher authorities to fight the case, and ultimately after High Court also they reached to Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is the major power of taking the decision. So Supreme Court applied these 2 essential conditions. Law said that you have to see whether these conditions are being fulfilled or not in order to decide whether this form of organization is a partnership or not. तो क्या अप्लाई करा उसने? नंबर 1 कंडीशन, देयर शुड बी एन एग्रीमेंट टू शेयर द प्रॉफिट्स एज वेल एज लॉसेस ऑफ द बिजनेस. उन्होंने कहा आप देखिए केडी कामत के पास पार्टनर्स में एग्रीमेंट है या नहीं है. तो लॉ सेड यस दे हैव एन एग्रीमेंट, दे आर शेयरिंग द प्रॉफिट्स एंड लॉसेस ऑफ द बिजनेस आल्सो. And he said the business must be carried on by all, even if KD Kamath is having the power and control. If he is holding the other persons liable for his action, then my dear, it is partnership under section 4. फिर इसको आप ये नहीं कह सकते. Then even if the exclusive power and control is with one partner or only one partner is having the bank accounts or borrowing, then these are not destructive theory of partnership provided the 2 conditions are fulfilled. This means that even if one partner is taking the whole sole control, only one partner is going to the opening the bank accounts, if only one partner is going and meeting the clients, it does not mean that KD Kamath and Company is not partnership. It is still a partnership. Why? Because we have to see that there was an agreement, there was sharing of the profits, and they were having a principle of mutual agency. Therefore, it is known as partnership form. समझ आ गया सबको KD Kamath and Company का केस. KD Kamath and Company के केस में KD Kamath was the only person who was taking all the decisions. Therefore, ITO said that we will not register you as partnership firm. When he went to Supreme Court said we have to see the true test of partnership under section 6, which is just coming up. There is an agreement. Yes, there is an agreement. There is sharing of profits and losses. Yes, there is sharing of profits. Are they having the principle of mutual agency? Yes, they are having. Then it is a partnership firm. Nobody can stop them from calling a partnership firm. समझ आ गया बच्चा? So this is the basic principle which you have to apply in all the situations in order to call a partnership firm. Please note, partnership agreement is also known as partnership deed. What is partnership deed? What are its contents? We will do after the differences points. So true test of partnership, section 6, मैंने जो भी आपको समझाई 3 conditions यही इन्होंने यहाँ पे लिखी है कि section 6 tells you that agreement is very important. Partnership does not arise by status. If you are born in a family where your dad is a partner in ABC Associates and you by birth become a partner in that firm, the answer is no. Only when you grow up or maybe as a minor, if you have signed an agreement, then only you become a partner, not just by status, not by getting, taking birth in a family of partners, you does not become partner. However, in Hindu undivided family, you become a member just by birth. You don't have to sign any agreement. If it's a Burmese Buddhist business, if it's a Hindu undivided family business, what is Hindu undivided family? The family which has not divided their property. They're doing all the business together. So any such kind of family, if you're born in such kind of family, you become a member by birth. But in partnership, you can become a member only by an agreement. So the first cardinal principle is agreement is must. Without an agreement, you cannot be a member. Then is your sharing of profits. Profit sharing बहुत जरूरी है. NPOs, non-profit organizations, they will not be called as a partnership if they don't have the motive of acquiring or sharing the profits. So it says a receipt by a person or share of profits or payment contingent upon earning of profits does not make him a partner with the person. So it says just you are getting the profits does not make you a partner. You must have entered into an agreement. So if any servant or agent is given a remuneration, say for example, a widow or a child of deceased partner, what does it try to explain? Say for example, there are three partners, A, B and C. So A, B and C are my favorites, so I try to use A, B, C only. So for example, one of the partner, Mr. A, died. Now what happened when Mr. A died? A, B, C were partner and they were sharing the profits equally. Now when Mr. A died, B and C were also paying some money to Mrs. A widow of their partner. So if any annuity is being paid from the partnership firm, it says that Mrs. A does not become a partner with them. So if somebody is getting a share of profit, it does not make them the partner unless and until Mrs. A signs an agreement with B and C that yes, I want to become a partner in the firm, then only she becomes a partner. So sharing of profit is an essential element, but it is a prima facie evidence, not just the conclusive evidence. इस लाइन पे भी आएंगे, बट अभी एग्रीमेंट के साथ समझ के कि एग्रीमेंट इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. सेकेंड चीज, by servant or agent as remuneration. So where I have appointed Mr. Ram to help me in the business. So you all told me, ma'am, he's your employee. He's not your partner. So if I'm paying my share of profits as a salary to any employee, he does not become my partner. Agreement is important. Now it says sharing of profit is a prima facie evidence. Prima facie evidence याद है? Passing of risk. देखने में ABC पार्टनर्स है, प्रॉफिट शेयर करे, देखने में तो यही लग रहा है कि ये पार्टनरशिप है, बट वो कह रहे हैं ये कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस नहीं है. कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस, मेजर प्रूफ लाने के लिए आपको ये प्रूफ करना पड़ेगा दैट प्रिंसिपल ऑफ म्यूचुअल एजेंसी इज प्रेजेंट और नॉट. Although right to participate is a strong test, but there are cases where simply participation in profits does not make you a partnership. The relationship has to be seen as a whole. Now the task becomes difficult whether there is no specific agreement or agreement with respect to partnership. Therefore, Section 6 has to be referred in order to decide whether there is an existence of a partnership relation or not. It says existence of mutual agency is the cardinal principle. Without this relationship, you cannot call any form of organization as a partnership form. So अब हम समझ चुके हैं म्यूचुअल एजेंसी क्या होता है, how we hold each other liable. Each partner is principal as well as agent and they are binding the firms and they are constituting a group to earn a profit running a business which deemed to exist. Then only a partnership is deemed to exist. Otherwise, if A, B and C are just having an agreement, they're sharing the profits, but they're not liable for each other. A कहता है मैं जो मर्जी करूं, B कहते हैं मैं जो मर्जी करूं, दूसरों की liability नहीं है मेरे करने पर, तो फिर वो partnership नहीं. So अगर A, B and C collectively they are known as a firm only if they're binding each other responsible for their business. So now this is another second important case law that we have over here is Santiranjan Das Gupta versus Murzaramul Supreme Court. So what happened in Santiranjan Das Gupta case? It says following factors were laid stress. Children, these are Supreme Court judgments. And Supreme Court judgments are very, very important judgments because Supreme Court is the highest authority who has given these particular judgments. So these two case laws, if you can remember the names, it's okay. Nobody's going to ask you specific case law in the exam, but this is just for understanding the concept. It says now here the Supreme Court laid stress on the following features in order to decide that there is no partnership between the parties. Santiranjan Das Gupta में क्या decide हो रहा है कि partnership नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है? Number one, the partners did not have any record of the terms and conditions of partnership. तो उन्होंने partnership तो कर ली, but कोई record ही नहीं था, कोई agreement का proof ही नहीं था, neither express nor implied. They did not have any express agreement, nor they were maintaining any accounts, nor they were having any bank accounts in the name of partnership. Also, they had no written intimation to the deputy director with respect to newly created partnership. Although I told you partnership agreement can be oral or in writing, even if you have a partnership agreement in oral, there must be some implied conduct. कुछ तो records होंगे ना, कुछ तो inspection हो सकती है, देख तो सकते हैं कौन से partnership accounts है, क्या रखा हुआ है, how the things are getting managed, what kind of bank accounts you have opened. Law said nothing was there. There was no agreement. So in such a case, Supreme Court tried to prove this valid point that sharing of profits and mutual agency is not just the only test to be applied. You have to apply the three of the tests collectively. Agreement तो होना ही चाहिए. वो कह रहे हैं मैंने आपको इतनी अच्छे से सिखा दिया कि म्यूचुअल एजेंसी इज द कार्डिनल प्रिंसिपल, शेयरिंग ऑफ प्रॉफिट शुड बी इन द ब्लड ऑफ फर्म, बट इफ यू डोंट हैव एनी एग्रीमेंट ओनली, तो आई एम सॉरी, देयर इज नो पार्टनरशिप. फिर आपकी कोई पार्टनरशिप नहीं है अगर आपकी एग्रीमेंट ही नहीं. So you can write down in your own words, study material में साइड पे लिख लो. So in Santi Ranjan Das Gupta, Supreme Court laid stress since there was no evidence of the agreement between the partners. In all these 4 points, they are trying to tell you, since there was no evidence of the agreement between the partners, therefore it was held that it is not a partnership firm. Therefore, it was held that it is not a partnership firm. So, KD Kamath and Company Section 4 may we understood that yes, it is a partnership firm, even if the exclusive power and control was in the hand of KD Kamath. Santi Ranjan Das Gupta, we have learned that Section 6 has to be applied completely. Agreement, sharing of profits, and mutual agency, 3 principles should be followed in order to constitute a partnership firm. Since Santi Ranjan Das Gupta did not have any records of the partnership agreement, they did not have any inspection of the books of accounts, they have not informed the deputy director, and they have not opened any name of partnership in the bank account also, then it was held that it is not constituted as the partnership firm. So true test of partnership we just did from the study material. It says although number of partners, transferability of share capital, unlimited liability, ये तो characteristics हैं ये partnership के, but ये 3 point होने बहुत जरूरी है in order to constitute a partnership firm. Now let's begin with the points of differences, children. So the first form of organization which we are going to understand, one I've already explained you, that is sole proprietor is different from partnership. Sole proprietor में तो बंदा ही एक है जो whole sole owner है, and partnership में 2 or more persons who are doing the business. So we have understood sole proprietor is different from partnership. Now let's say Mr. Ray, who was running his sole proprietorship shop in Sector 17 Chandigarh, he thought of doing a business and adding some partners to his business, so he formed a partnership firm. After that, he planned to expand his business to a more greater extent, and he thought of opening up a company. So law says there are different forms of organization which a person can think. Either he can form a smaller scale sole proprietorship. You want to expand number of members you want to add, so you thought of adding partnership firm. You want to expand your business at much larger scale, you think of setting up a company. It can be a private company if you're just setting limited between the number of members. If you want the public at large to come and invest in your company, then you set up a public company. Nowadays, another important feature, another form of organization, which is the latest form of organization, and many chartered accountants nowadays set up, is LLP. That is limited liability partnership. So all these are different forms of organizations which an individual can set up depending upon the amount of capital you want to invest, on the number of members you want to add upon. So let us understand how the partnership is different from a company. So first point is legality. It says company is an artificial legal person. Salomon versus Salomon and Company Limited, one of my very, very favorite and important case law, which I will explain you when we go to the Companies Act, not today, because today our stress is on the partnership form. So अभी के लिए क्या समझ लेना, partnership is not a legal person. Company is a legal person. Company को एक artificial existence दी गई है. Although children, the company is in the books, it's in the records. You cannot see a company, but company has a separate legal existence. What is the meaning of artificial? Means a company has a separate legal existence. Company को continuation में रखा जा सकता है. Even if all the directors and shareholders of a company die, company still continues to exist. It has a perpetual succession. Write down the meaning of perpetual. Means continuous. Perpetual means Continuity, continuous succession means chalti rahegi. Say, for example, there was A company limited in which there were 4 shareholders, A, B, C, D. All the 4 shareholders died in an accident. Will the company come to an end? The answer is no. The company still continues to exist in the books of accounts. कंपनी को खत्म नहीं करा जा सकता है. कंपनी को खत्म करने के लिए you have to apply to the National Company Law Tribunal to remove the name of the company from its books. So company is separate, members are separate. However, under partnership which we are doing today, partnership does not has a legal entity. अभी तो मैंने आपको बताया A, B, C are together known as partnership firm. अगर पार्टनर्स है तो फर्म है. पार्टनरशिप फर्म डज नॉट हैव अ परपेचुअल सक्सेशन. से फॉर एग्जांपल ABC Associates had 3 partners, A, B and C. They were going for a drive and in an accident all the 3 partners died. Will the firm still continue to exist? The answer is no. Firm will come to an end. फर्म क्यों थी? क्योंकि पार्टनर्स थे. पार्टनर्स ही नहीं रहे तो फर्म खत्म. But company के केस में company continues to exist whether the members come or keep going. It does not affect their existence. All right, clear हो गए first 2 points. So company is a separate legal existence. Firm does not have any separate legal entity. Firm is made by partners. So A, B, C are together known as partners. Point number 3, registration. Now, the interesting part is companies are created by getting themselves registered under the Companies Act 2013. However, partnership firm registration is not compulsory. तो ये बड़ा interesting बात है कि partnership firm ना setup करनी बहुत easy है. You just simply, you are guided by the rules of Indian Contract Act and Partnership Act and you simply set up through an agreement. You don't have the burden of getting yourself registered and all these kind of formalities which generally you need to do in a companies. So what is the benefit that the partnership has? Partnership has the flexibility of setting up a partnership firm by an agreement. That's why, examiner gives you a question related to LLP that can you explain why the LLP is very more beneficial? Because LLP, limited liability partnership, इसके बड़े ज्यादा फायदे हैं. आजकल लोग ना LLP सेट करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि इसको सेटअप करना is very easy. You simply need to sign an agreement and you set up an LLP. However, when you set up a company, then you have to go do lots of formalities. Registration is required. Companies Act 2013 needs to be seen and you need to apply to the different kind of authorities. A lot of paperwork is involved. However, LLP gets the status as that of a company. बेनिफिट क्या है फिर? LLP डिफरेंट क्यों है पार्टनरशिप से? क्योंकि लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप इसको एक कंपनी का रूप दे दिया जाता है. LLP जो होती है ना वो एक अलग से कंपनी की तरह इनकॉर्पोरेट हो जाती है. ठीक है, बट अभी LLP को रब कर दो अपने माइंड से. हम पार्टनरशिप फर्म में है, LLP में नहीं जाएंगे. सो बट समझाने के लिए अभी कुछ दिनों में आप LLP के बारे में भी पढ़ रहे हो. सो LLP is a better form of organization, little more better than the partnership firm. But still, traditional partnership firm is being set up by the partners. ऐसा नहीं है कि partnership अभी भी exist करती है, and it has the benefits that registration is not compulsory and Indian Contract Act and Partnership Act के rules and regulations के according partnership set up हो जाते हैं. Fourth point is regarding number of members. Private company can have maximum 200 and minimum 2. तो ये तो आपने बिजनेस स्टडीज में भी छोटे होते भी लर्न करा होगा कि 2 members प्राइवेट कंपनी में मैक्सिमम 200. यहाँ पे पब्लिक कंपनी कैन हैव एनी नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स बट मिनिमम 7. सो मिनिमम 7 इन पब्लिक कंपनी, मिनिमम 2 इन प्राइवेट कंपनी. प्राइवेट कंपनी में मैक्सिमम कैप ऑफ 200 members and here there is no limit. Public company has no limit on the number of members. However, they can be OPC also. So OPC is also very, very interesting topic which we're doing in Companies Act. That is one person company. So there I'll teach you one man with a suit, boot and tie. He's just going to the office and running his own single-handed company. So one person company is also a new concept which has come up. But partnership firm में ऐसा नहीं है. एक तो मजेदार बात है, कहता है कंपनीज एक्ट ही बता रहा है कि इसके नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स कितने. सो इट सेज नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स इन एनी एसोसिएशन शुड नॉट एक्सीड 100. दिस इज गिवन अंडर द कंपनीज मिसलेनियस रूल्स restrict the presence of members to the limit of 50. So now you have to see if you're following company's rules, you have to see as per 2014 rules. Otherwise, the number of limit of members should not exceed 50 or 100. It is as per the Companies Act 2014 and the rules which has given the higher cap limit. Now let us go to the distribution of profits. So पार्टनरशिप फॉर्म में क्या है? अभी तो मैंने आपको समझाया इतनी देर से सेक्शन 4 में कि पार्टनर्स में प्रॉफिट्स तो शेयर करने ही करने हैं एज पर द रेशियो व्हिच इज डिसाइडेड इन द पार्टनरशिप टीम. But children, if you have invested in the shares of Reliance company, so whatever profits Reliance gets, do they give you the equal share of profits also? फिर तो हम सारे ही अंबानीज बन जाएंगे, बहुत अमीर बन जाएंगे. तो कहते हैं here there is no compulsion. कंपनी में प्रॉफिट्स नहीं शेयर होते, कंपनी में तो डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर होता है. You are not partners in a company. You are not getting any sharing of profits in a particular ratio. There is no such sharing of profits, but you get dividends out of the profits. कंपनी प्रॉफिट करेगी तो आपकी शेयर इन्वेस्टमेंट की बेस पे आपको डिविडेंड मिल जाएगा. अदरवाइज यू इवन गो इनटू लॉसेस इन केस ऑफ कंपनीज इन्वेस्टमेंट. पार्टनरशिप फर्म 100% sharing of profits is a very basic structure. Partnership firm, 3 partners have come together, they've signed an agreement and they're sharing the profits. In company, there is no such compulsion to distribute the profits. We only get the dividends. So preference shareholders get a better preference over equity shareholders, and whatever is left is given to the equity shareholders. Who are equity shareholders? Who are preference shareholders? When we go to the companies chapter, we will understand. Point number 7, property. So the property of company is separate from the members who can receive it back in the form of dividends or a fund of capital. So whatever investments you have made in the company, they can be refunded because company is separate, members are separate. Here the firm's property is the joint estate of all the partners. A, B, C, 3 partners. A got table from his house. B got 2 chairs for the office. C got a beautiful painting for the office. So these are joint properties. हम सबकी है. ऐसे नहीं बोल सकता सी कि ये सिर्फ मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है, ये सिर्फ टेबल मैं घर से लेकर आया हूं तो मैं ही यूज करूंगा. दे आर कलेक्टिवली नोन एज द जॉइंट एस्टेट ऑफ ऑल द पार्टनर्स. Children, partnership firm, that's why they say that you cannot run a partnership firm with your enemy. So if you don't like the person only, then you cannot have a good cordial relationship, because partnership firm mein cordial relationships are very important. The relationship of trust and mutual agency always exists. I cannot say that, oh, why did you purchase furniture from Mr. D? Or why did you do like this? We are having a relationship of trust, because I am also liable, na? If A and B have taken any action, me, Mr. C is also liable for their actions. So it says here, partnership firm, all the property which is being held by the firm is belong to all the partners collectively. You cannot say that I only own this and I will not let other partners use it. It belongs to all the partners together. Transfer of shares, children. Companies may, private limited companies may, shares get easily transferred. You can easily transfer your shares. In partnership, you cannot transfer your share without the consent of other partners. So if A, B and C, if A is having 50% share in the partnership and he wants to transfer his share to Mr. D, then he has to call upon a meeting with Mr. B and C. He has to take their consent and approval. So sharing of interest is not very easy in partnership. You have to take the consent of other partners as well. Then comes your point of liability. It says in company, the liability of children, you're writing the queries. I'll give you a break, another for 2 minutes in between, and then I'll read your queries. Okay. So first pay attention over here. Now another interesting point is of, कितना हो गया था वहां पे 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th point is liability. So it says in a company, the liability of the members can be limited by shares or guarantee or even unlimited liability. So companies can be companies limited by share. There, whatever amount you have invested in the shares, unpaid amount will be your liability. Say, for example, if you have taken up the shares of the company and the prize money is ₹10 per share. And say, for example, you have just paid up ₹8 per share. So now, children, your liability, the balance liability will only be ₹2 per share. Why? Because you have a limited liability as per shares. Or maybe certain person has agreed that, given a guarantee that I will pay ₹10,000 in case of any event of liability of the company. So here this Mr. A can only be called upon to pay the liability of ₹10,000 and not beyond that. But my dear children, liability of members in partnership firm is unlimited. यहाँ पे आप कोई कैप लिमिट या फिक्स नहीं कर सकते कि मैं तो सिर्फ 50,000 कैपिटल आया था, मैं वो ही दूंगा, मैं सिर्फ इतनी की गारंटी दी उतनी लाइबिलिटी दूंगा. You have to meet all the liability of the partnership firm. Now, this is the biggest disadvantage of the partnership firm, that they have unlimited liability. That is why the new concept of LLP has come up, that now you can have a partnership flexibility with a limited liability. So LLP, the name itself suggests that limited liability partnership. So उन्होंने क्या करा, ट्रेडिशनल पार्टनरशिप अप्रोच को पकड़ा, उसको कॉर्पोरेट लीगल एग्जिस्टेंस दी like a company, and they gave them the benefit of the limited liability. However, under the partnership form, liability of the members is unlimited. What is the meaning of unlimited liability? Let me explain you the meaning of unlimited liability. Say, for example, the liability of the firm is rupees 1 lakh. And the assets of the business are only rupees 50,000. So 1 lakh आपने liability pay करनी है. However, the assets of the partnership firm were only 50,000. It says the balance 50,000 all the partners will bring from their home and they will pay for the liability of the firm. Unlimited liability means all the partners are personally liable for the liabilities. You cannot say that if partnership property is not sufficient to pay the liabilities, you personally also become liable. You have to pay off your liabilities. Okay, this is the meaning of unlimited liability. In chapter number 2, we will again do a detailed example of unlimited liability also. Here you just remember the points of differences. Relationship of agency, now you know better than me. Member is not an agent of a company. वो थोड़ी ना agent and principal relationship company में कर रहे हैं. But partners, they all are agent as well as principal of each other. Management, company में only director, members can take part in management. We call the persons like shareholders and directors. So senior directors can take part in participate in the management. Here all the partners can take part. Unless and until I define you as an active and sleeping partners. So we are assuming everyone is an active partner. So all of you can participate in the management decisions because you're doing business together. So you have the right to participate in the management. And how does the winding up occur? It says a company is wind up by National Company Law Tribunal. They have to get their name struck off by the Registrar of Companies. Partnership can be dissolved by all the partners at any time. So A, B, C ने decide करा कि हमें partnership बंद करनी है, तो वो mutually decide कर partnership को dissolve. Dissolve means coming to an end. So what is the meaning of dissolving? Dissolving means coming to an end. So winding up का मतलब यही होता है company close करना. So company को close करने के लिए आपको National Company Law Tribunal के पास जाना पड़ेगा. You have to get your name removed from the books. Here partnership can come to an end if all the partners agree. So mutual agreement से ही partnership is formed, and by mutual agreement the partnership can come to an end as well. So I'll just take a 2 minutes halt over here. We'll take a small break and I'll just go through your queries in between. And then we'll wind up the chapter. All right, children, I have just gone through your queries, and Arbas, Mohammed, Komal, and who is this? Again, Miss Komal Mahanot. And those who are still struggling between the number of partners, I will just explain you this point once again. Don't worry. I will tell you what is the maximum limit that you have to remember. Okay, but before that, let me answer. Mr. Sarvesh is asking a very interesting question. If in the partnership deed, one of the partners mentioned that after his death, his wife becomes a partner, then what will happen? So in the previous example, where we just discussed that Mr. A died and Mrs. A was being paid annuity out of the share of profits, so we concluded that Mrs. A will not be considered as a partner in a firm. But Mr. Sarvesh, in your specific question, wherein you have written that we have decided that now we are going to take Mrs. A as a partner, then obviously once she signed an agreement, she's sharing the profits, she's part of the business, then definitely she will be considered as a partner in a firm. Miss Soumya Begum, any number of points. See, examiner can ask you 6 points of differences or 4 points of differences. So if it is silent, then you can just write down as many number of points you remember for the points of difference between between a company and a partnership firm. Priyanka is saying the video is lagging behind. Children, please confirm me if my voice and video and screen is absolutely clear to you. Somebody can just respond me on that. I hope it's clear. So Mr. Arbas and Komal and those who were asking about the number of partnership, let me just take you in the study material once again, because children, many of you still have a doubt. So it says maximum number of partners. There is no cap as per the Partnership Act, but the Act has put a maximum cap of 50 partners. But I just now told you that we have to go to the latest Companies Rules 2014, which has made a maximum cap limit of 100. So if you ask me, मैम हमने कितने learn करने हैं, तो बच्चा आप ये learn कर लो कि maximum cap limit. Again, now they are saying the number of partners in any association should not exceed 100. So they have taken the rules limit to the 50 in the Companies Rule 2014. So my advice to you is learn it as the way it is written in the study material. The maximum cap limit as per the rules has been made 50, but the number of partners is 100. Even if you see in other kind of organizations, the maximum cap that they've taken as per the Companies Act 2013 provisions, if we are following, it is maximum limit of the number of partners is 100. So rules में 50 दिया हुआ है, you can mention about that as well. But you will never get a descriptive case study wherein you need to analyze the number of partners as well. Clear हो गया, अब समझ आ गया सबको how you have to present and how you have to write your answers. And this is the same that we have written over here also. Number of members shall not exceed 100, but the rules restricted to 50. Now let's go to another. Let me see if there is still any query. Oh, many of you have written. Thank you so much, children. People are saying it's clear. Priyanka, maybe some problem at your end, child. Please check it. Thank you, Shiba, Bomek, for confirming. Shubhambi, for Reddy, Dharya, Shitish Kumar, Jyoti, Deshri. Thank you so much. If director, winding up, Nikhil, and somebody was asking about winding up meaning also. So, child, what is the meaning of winding up? Winding up means when we are just closing the company. So once, if for example, if the company is going to come to an end, if the assets of the company are not sufficient to pay off the liabilities, then we take up the company towards the closure, and we make a call to the company law tribunal. We request them that please close my company. So here, as of now, you simply remember closure of the company when we talk about winding up. How winding up is done and how the entire closure procedure happens, that is part of your Companies Act, wherein we understand when we go to the Companies Act. But अभी के लिए अगर आप मीनिंग पूछ रहे हो मैम वाइंडिंग अप का मतलब क्या है, तो वाइंडिंग अप का मीनिंग लिख कर रख लो, क्लोजिंग अ कंपनी when we are coming to an end. Similarly, here the word which is used is dissolution. So dissolution, I just told you, it means how the firm can be closed, how it comes to an end if all the partners have agreed. Clear hai? Now let's move to the other forms of organization wherein we compare Yes, Shiva, the transfer of shares is restricted. So I just told you, in case of a company, the private company can easily transfer their shares. However, the transferability of the shares in partnership, you need the consent of other partners. What happens in the private limited company, how the public company acts, that again is a part of your public companies act chapter. Herein we just simply understand. Herein we simply understand that how it is different in the partnership firm. You cannot transfer your share or interest without the consent of other parties. Okay. Okay, Dhruv, that's nice. Thank you, Kaushik, for mentioning that the class is running well and there is no problem. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kaushik, once again for writing such a beautiful comment that you're enjoying the class. Crystal clear. Sunil Yadav is saying it's crystal clear. Thank you. Sakshi, where is your query? Please send it again if I've missed. Bacha, so many queries have come up. You can send it once again. Can a owner's wife become a partner? So Miss Komlakshi, if you sign an agreement, so if I am Miss A, I'm running a partnership firm with Miss B and C, and if I ask my husband to become a partner in my firm, again, if he signs an agreement with us, he can also become a partner. So all you have to see is signing of an agreement has to be there. So when you say the partner becomes insolvent, okay, Sakshi is saying you said the partner's liability is unlimited. So what happens when the partner becomes insolvent? That is part of your chapter 2. We will understand how the provisions have to become applicable in case of an insolvency of a partner. That is the specific case that you're asking about, the insolvency, death of a partner. So वो आपका chapter 2 के second session में आपको समझ आएगा insolvency. As of now, we simply have to remember, we are assuming that all the partners are solvent. None of them is declared insolvent and they're running the firm and their liability is unlimited. How they are different from the company? कंपनी में liability limited है, partnership में there is no cap of limitation, the liability of the partners is unlimited. Clear हो गया सबको? Now let's move to the other forms of organization. Okay, thank you. So partnership versus club. So now children, now listen here, okay? Now stop coming to the queries and thank you for all those who are writing. We are enjoying how many students are liking nice everything. Sandeep Kumar, Shiba, Vanchika, thank you so much. Muhammad Ali, everyone. Just come back here. Okay, now I want all the eyes and ears here on the screen. So child, if I ask you that, okay, fine, once this lockdown series and everything gets normal, because abhi to aap log band ho ghar mein, situation is not good. So I'm sure you're not going to your gyms and other places. So once the things get normal, if you start going to a gym, so let's take an example. There is a gym khana club in your city and it has a nice bodybuilding weights and everything is kept and you have joined that gym. So do you become a partner when you join a gym or any club? You thought that let's go out for a dinner and your dad has taken a membership of a golf club. So are you a partner in that golf club? Are you a partner in gym khana club? So law says wherein you are going into certain clubs, you are simply known as a member. You are not partners. So what is the difference between partnership firm and a club? Partnership has partners. They have the business motive, profit motive. Change in the partners affect the existence of the firm. Here the members may keep coming and going. The club still continues. अब अगर आपने जिम की मेंबरशिप ली थी तो अगर लॉकडाउन लग गया एंड आप जिम नहीं जा पाए तो क्या आपका क्लब या जिम बंद हो गया? नो, इट कंटिन्यूज टू एग्जिस्ट वेदर यू कम और नॉट. It will not affect my existence. But here, if the partners change the constitution, partners decide to put an end, then the form of organization will come to an end. So club has members who come and go and participate in different activities. They are not interested in the property of the club. Are you ever bothered that what kind of furniture should be kept in the golf club if your dad is a member? No, you never bothered. But yes, if your dad is a partner in a certain business, he will be definitely bothered about what kind of property is to be kept in my firm. So club is different from partnership firm. In club, we only have members. We don't have any business or profit motive. You just pay the money. Say, for example, if you've joined a gym, you will pay your membership fees and you will enjoy the facilities of the club and you'll come home. You are not entering into any partnership with any club. Understood? So club में हम entertainment, recreational facilities के लिए जाते हैं. We don't have any profit motive. We are known as members. We are not interested in the property of the club. Means we do not take calls for what has to be purchased or how the property has to be kept or how the things have to be managed. And the change in members won't affect the existence of the club. Here, if the partner is joining, it is the case of admission of a partner, the firm get dissolves. If partner is retirement is happening, insolvency is happening, all these things have an effect on the firm. In club, members may keep come or going. It does not affect its existence. To clear, I think this is very basic one. You all know what is a partnership firm and what is a club. They both are different and they don't have a profit motive in case of a club. Now, this co-ownership is something again which we have already understood. The only word that you want to understand over here is it is maybe by an agreement or by operation of law. So when I say operation of law, I am using the word inheritance. So there is Mr. P who is having lots and lots of property. And when Mr. P died, all the property went to his son. Don't you know that we get inheritance from our ancestors, from our elders? So if there is a great grandfather in the house, and if he dies, the property becomes of the grandfather. Grandfather dies, the property becomes of the father. Father dies, the property comes to the son, and then so and so inheritance is happening. So law says this is known as inheritance or a co-ownership. So co-ownership, जब हमने क्लास शुरू करी थी, मैंने आपको बताया था A, B, C, they own a land, they are brothers and they're getting the rental incomes and they're dividing that rental incomes. All such cases where you're getting the property from your elders or you have a share of profits with another person, you are co-owning the thing, you do not have a partnership firm. For a partnership firm, you need to have an agreement, like you were raising a query, ma'am, if Mrs. A signed an agreement, if Flana person is coming, this is coming, somebody who is entering into a contract, somebody is entering into an agreement with me, whether an express or implied agreement, then only he becomes a partnership firm. Here, you're just owning the things together. Somebody is joining your firm through an agreement or a contract, it is known as formation of partnership firm. But where you're jointly owning a property, remember the case of sale of goods where we learned how the co-owners can sell a particular motorbike. PQR were owning a motorbike, only it was in the sole possession of Mr. P. Still, P has the right to sell even if he's not the sole owner. So we learned what is co-ownership in sale of goods as well. So law says all those cases of co-ownership, inheritance are not partnership firm. For forming a partnership firm, somebody needs to join in your partnership firm by making an agreement. Then only it is known as partnership firm. Now the principle of agency, we all know principle of agency exists in partnership and no principle of agency exists in co-ownership. Here the sharing of profits and loss is happening. Here we are not sharing the profits, we are just dividing whatever we are getting. So if we're getting a rental income of 10,000, we get 5,000 each. We're not earning any profits. Here we are earning the profits and sharing it. Transfer of ownership. Again, if you want to transfer your share, you have to take the consent of all the partners. I just now told you in a company also transferability of shares happen on a different note. But here partners have to take the consent of all the partners. Here no consent is required. So his son can further transfer his share to his son. Anybody else or another co-owner can share it. Just inform the other person and you can transfer your interest in co-ownership. In partnership, you have to take the consent of all the partners if you are leaving the firm or you are transferring your share. And next one is partnership firm is different from any association of persons. So children, if you are staying in certain societies and say, for example, your society people just get together and Diwali functions are being held, or nowadays, maybe tomorrow Republic Day. So you thought since we are locked down in the house, so all the society members get together and they do the flag hosting. So do you think all these association of persons who have come together to celebrate a particular cause or to have a charitable kind of or religious kind of associations, are they forming a partnership? The answer is no. They are simply an association of persons. Their intention is not to do any business. So if tomorrow, if your society people are hosting a flag and they are sitting together and eating those jalebis and sweet dishes, do you mean that they're doing some business? No, the answer is no. They are only associating for a social cause. It can be a charitable or religious association. The intention of business is not there when we talk about association of persons. But if these association of persons have a business intention, if they want to run a business for profit motive, then they become a partnership firm. समझ आ गया? अब सबको अपनी अपनी सोसाइटी मेंबर्स का याद करके हमेशा याद रहेगा कि एसोसिएशन ऑफ पर्संस मींस अगर हम चैरिटेबल पर्पस के लिए कोई एक्ट कर रहे हैं, से फॉर एग्जांपल मेनी एसोसिएशंस केम टुगेदर ड्यूरिंग दीस कोविड डेज, पीपल वर हेल्पिंग द पीपल हु वर आउट ऑन द रोड हंग्री. So people went out to help them out. So they were doing an act of charity. They were not doing business. Were you doing it for the motive of business? Were you trying to earn something? That is known as an act of kindness. So if 5-6 people have come together and they're preparing a langar for those who are sitting in the streets hungry for food, and if you're donating food and clothes to such kind of people, that means you're doing some certain social cause. You're doing any charitable activity. So in such a case, law says if people have come together to help out the needy ones, it is not a partnership firm. आप ये नहीं कह सकते जहाँ पे 2 and more persons have come together, it becomes a partnership. In order to form a partnership, you must have the motive of running a business and to earn a profit. Then only it becomes same association. If they thought that let's do a business together now, we will run a business of providing a food and whatever profits, and we are charging a rate for that. Then you need a rate. You're not doing charity. Charity for free of cost, है ना बच्चा? So here now, if you started charging a rate, so you made a food for ₹10 per plate and you charge ₹15 per plate. Now you have started earning a profit of ₹5 per plate. Therefore, now it becomes a partnership firm. Clear ho gaya? Crystal clear? Association of person with partnership, how it is different? Good. Now comes your last topic for the day, and then we have a nice, interesting quiz coming up for all of you. So partnership versus joint Hindu undivided family. Now, first of all, what is the meaning of HUF? Hindu undivided family hota kya hai? It says the family who is doing a business together and the property is not yet divided. So any person who is born in a Hindu undivided family becomes the member of that HUF business. So HUF is basically a separate entity for the tax purposes. Certain benefits are given if you are registered, if your house business, your family business, if you are registered as an HUF, so you get certain tax benefits. So here law is trying to tell you partnership is different from HUF. HUF partnership, so it is created by an agreement. You have to sign an agreement between the partners. However, family में तो आप by birth family का हिस्सा बन गए ना. कोई न्यूबॉर्न बेबी एग्रीमेंट थोड़ी ना साइन करेगा, नाउ आई एम पार्ट ऑफ दिस HUF. So it says by birth, a member gets the status of an HUF. You become the part of an HUF by birth. However, partnership is created when 2 and more persons come together and they sign an agreement. Here, the liability of partner is unlimited. समझ चुके हैं हम मैम कि हमारे पर्सनल एसेट्स भी लायबल है. इंसॉल्वेंसी में क्या होगा वो हम इंसॉल्वेंसी के चैप्टर में देखेंगे. अभी के लिए आई हैव टॉट यू दैट लायबिलिटी ऑफ ऑल दोज हु हैव साइंड अ पार्टनरशिप फर्म विद मी टुडे, योर लायबिलिटी इज अनलिमिटेड. However, in HUF, the liability of Karta is unlimited. Ma'am, who is this Karta? So Karta is the eldest member of the family who is generally responsible for taking all the managerial decisions for the business. So whosoever is the eldest member in the family becomes a Karta. He is a kind of a leader for the family business. Now it says in HUF only his liability is unlimited. बाकी जो मेंबर्स हैं उनकी लायबिलिटी लिमिटेड रहती है. ओनली कर्ता's liability is unlimited. However, in partnership, all the partners have the unlimited liability. In case of partnership, the number of members should not exceed 50/100 if you're following the rules and if you're following Companies Act 2014. Here, there is no limit. So number of members has been defined 50 or 100 as per the cap limit given by the company's rules and Companies Act 2013-14. However, under the members of HUF, you can carry on the business with unlimited number of members. In partnership, the minor can be admitted for the benefits. However, in HUF, minor becomes a member of the ancestral business. Ancestral means जो हमारे पुरुषों का business चलता आ रहा है. पुराना जो हमारा बिजनेस इतने टाइम से इनहेरिटेंस चलती आ रही है. A minor becomes his member by birth and not by attaining majority. So when a small baby is born in an HUF, he becomes the member then and there only. You will not say that when this baby turns 18 years of age, then he will sign an agreement. No. However, in partnership, you can admit a minor for benefits of partnership. Otherwise, only the people above 18 years of age are admitted in the partnership firm. But minor can also be admitted only for the benefits of the partnership, but minor needs to sign an agreement. You cannot say that A, B, C are partners and A had a son, A had a son, Mr. P in his house, and he becomes a partner. No, that minor needs to sign an agreement, then only he becomes a partner in a partnership firm. However, in HUF, a minor becomes a partner by birth. So, bacha in his study material, 8-9 points are given. They are very, very general points related to HUF, and you can just give it a fair reading. If still you have, you can ask me. So Kaushik is writing, the way you teach my concepts clear very nicely. So thank you so much. I'm so glad. Priyanka is asking, yes, definitely. Whosoever gets the property gets the inheritance. That's absolutely correct, Priyanka. Sanyam Jain, Bhumika, I'm glad the things are clear to you. Association, the motive is for profit. And yes, Shiba Khan, if the association of persons have a motive of doing business and they're earning profit, then it can be converted into a partnership firm. Yes, Ruchi Bajaj, NGO is a kind of an association of persons. It will not be counted as partnership if the motive is not to earn profits. Karta, yes, Nikhil, Karta will be considered as the eldest male member of the family. If you want, we can take up certain points of HUF. Those who are saying, ma'am, we want to do more points of HUF from study, we can take up the points from study as well. There's no harm in that. I'll just do the screen share. Meanwhile, I'll just read your queries. So this is your joint Hindu undivided family, which says that you become the members. Death of the partner leads to dissolution. Here, it does not give rise to the dissolution of business. Members may keep coming and going. So generally, the rights have been given. See, now there is an amendment about the male member and female member. It says the right of the management generally vests with Karta, the governing male member or female member of the family. So there has been an amendment in the Hindu Succession Act 2005, which says even the female members who become the co-partners, they can also be given the right to become the Karta of the family. Children, nowadays, you all know that we have the power of equality in our hands. There is no difference between a male or a female in our Indian culture. We are trying to overcome those kind of things, and we are also having a lot of speaking on the women empowerment. So we are trying to overcome our traditional thought process, and even the female members can be considered, governing male or female members can be given the status of the being the Karta of the family. All right. So that's absolutely correct. Similarly, even if inheritance, somebody was mentioning that, ma'am, even if the daughter gets the entire property, definitely that is also the case of inheritance, where the daughter is staying with the families, or even if she's not staying with the family, and the entire property that she has got from her parents can also be considered as the case of inheritance. Thank you, Shambhavi. Vanchika. Cardinal principle of partnership, Miss Vanchika is asking me. So why don't you only tell me what is the cardinal principle? So the cardinal principle of partnership is the sharing of profits as well as mutual agency. So mutual agency, without mutual agency, you cannot call it the partnership. Ms. Jeet, thank you so much for writing. It's crystal clear. Yes, Sarvesh, the HUF in the Karta is one who will be having the unlimited liability. Dhruv is still saying, ma'am, association wala thoda clear nahi hua. Okay. I'll just try to explain you. Miss Komal, thank you so much. I'm glad you're finding law easy now. Okay, so those who have not understood association, listen again, where I told you when two or more people who have just come together and they have formed an association among themselves, means they have just collectively thought of doing some business, not doing some business, but some certain social cause. I'll just take you in the difference. Association means having a social cause where there is no necessary motive of earning profits and sharing the profits. The intention is not to enter into business. So this not is the underlying word, wherein I just told you, child, that many of you people from society, you came together and you want to contribute a langar to your society members. That means you have come together, means association, matlab ikattha ho gaye. एसोसिएशन ऑफ पर्संस, लोग इकट्ठे होकर कुछ काम कर रहे हैं बट वो बिजनेस नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो प्रॉफिट्स नहीं गेन कर रहे हैं, सो इट विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड एज अ पार्टनरशिप फॉर्म. ठीक है ध्रुव, क्लियर हो गया? So, Mr. Darshan, the weightage of the chapter, once we complete the chapter, we'll again go to the mock test papers and we will study from them. Mr. Sarvesh is asking the meaning of contractual. So, contractual obligations, whatever you have contracted, whatever agreement you have made, it is as per those qualities. So, Riddhi, they share the profits as per the profit sharing ratio that they have decided, and their liability is unlimited. So that means, what is the meaning of unlimited liability? If my firm's assets are just 50,000 and I need to pay rupees 1 lakh, then all the partners will have to bring the balance 50,000 in order to pay off the liabilities of the firm. Simran Kaur, your query is not clear. You are writing something. You can ask once again. Okay, Ms. Riddhi, Saurav, Sameer Singh, thank you so much. Okay, profit sharing ratio. Riddhi Chaknakar, you're asking something, a point in the HUF. Let me take you to that particular point. Okay, calling for accounts and closure. This is what Simran is asking. First of all, let's clear this point. It says a partner can bring a suit against the firm provided he also seeks the dissolution. Now, what is the meaning of calling for accounts and closure? It means that if you want to close the accounts, if you want to close dissolution of the firm, if you want to ask, so the partners can also file a case. Bring a suit means the partners can also file a case against the firm for the accounts. You can have an inspection of the accounts. You have a full right, your partners in the firm. So you have a right to inspect the accounts of the firm, provided you also call for the dissolution. Here, on separation of joint family, a member is not entitled to ask for the accounts. You are having a relationship of trust in a family business. So if you're getting separate, you're getting yourself divided from the Hindu undivided family. So you're not, it is not necessary that the member will be asking for the accounts. So partners can still take a case, they can file an action, they can take up a case and they can ask for the accounts of the firm. However, under HUF, it is not compulsory for the members to ask for the accounts when they're getting separate. All right. So, Miss Vanshika, no, you should not skip any of the chapters. You should do everything. You must go through each and every point which is written in the study material. You can't leave anything. Yes, Vidya, we are just jumping to the quiz. I just got stuck in the queries in between. So I hope all the points are clear. Children, you can read all these points, the very general points which are given in the study as well. So I hope sharing of profits is also clear. Somebody was asking about the sharing of profits. Here, each partner gets a share by the agreement. So if I've agreed you 3 partners, 1/3 share each, so that is as per the agreement. Here, the interest keeps a fluctuating one. No co-partners have a fixed share. In case of a capability enlarged by death, it is diminishes by the birth. So whatever they have decided mutually in case of HUF, they will be following that. However, under partnership and agreement overrules, we have to follow the share of profits as per the agreement. So let's test your knowledge. So here comes your first question. So I give you 5 minutes, just go through the questions and send me the answers like question number 1, part A or B, whatever it is. So read the question carefully. The firm is the name given to the partners or the minors in the firm, or the business under which the firm carries on the business, or it is the collective name under which it carries on the business. So what is the answer for the first one? So Lakshmi, the true test of partnership, you simply have to remember the 3 points, the essential elements. You can even go through the video once it is, once we get free with the lecture child, it is there recorded on the YouTube. You can definitely listen to the lecture from the very beginning and the things will become clear to you once again. But remember the 3 points, agreement, sharing of profits and mutual agency are must in order to call it a partnership firm. So we have discussed very important case laws. In case you have missed, you can see it today. Chandan, Vanshika, Gopal Krishnan, Dhairya, thank you so much. Gopal Krishnan, working partner, it is next topic we'll be covering in the next lecture. Sandeep Kumar, everything is there on the ICAI website. You can refer to the question papers from there. All right, I hope you have read the first question. Second question, on the screen in front of you. The true test of partnership is business, sharing of profits, agreement, or mutual agency. I hope you all are taking the quiz, children. Dharmendra, if the partners die, it depends upon whether they have decided to dissolve the firm or not. Accordingly, the decision is taken. Yes, Mrs. Shiba Khan, according to whatever agreement they have made, they will decide the partnership profit sharing as per that. Okay, let's have the answer to the first one. Many of you have given, otherwise your answers just go here, there. So all those who have written answer number 1, part D, give a patting to yourself. That's correct. All those who are writing A, B, C, it's wrong. So the correct answer is 1D. Varun and Komlakshi were the first one, Nancy and all those who have answered. Hriday Gupta, it's correct. So let's see the second one. I've still not received the answers for the second one. What is the true test of partnership? So the true test of partnership is business, sharing of profits, agreement, or mutual agency. You have to choose one cardinal principle I'm asking over here. So which is the cardinal principle? Miss Khushi, don't worry. You'll be able to do it. You just need to keep revising the context. So children, are you giving me the correct answer for this one? Mr. Vivek Tiwari is the first one. Neha Yadav to give the correct answer. Dinesh Ingle, Dipinki, Chandan, Jeet, Laki Biswas, Mansi. I'm so glad so many of you are doing the quiz. Alfia, Nagma, Khushi, Samriti, Vanshika, Sayam Jain, Dipinki, Priyanka, Harshika, Emmanuel, Komlakshi, Sandeep, Hira Hussain, Sakshi, Vanshika, Miss Jinal, Komlakshi. All right, very good. The correct answer is mutual agency, children. Why are you writing agreement? I said the true test, you have to choose the one cardinal principle. So it says mutual agency is must. Although section 6 needs to be applied collectively for all these 3 points, we have understood that they are mandatory. But if I ask you what is the true test, I just told you that sharing of profits is a prima facie, but the conclusive evidence in order to prove is mutual agency. All right, so the correct answer to this one is your mutual agency. Let's go to the third point. A, B, C are 3 partners. A purchased furniture for business purpose from D. Can D recover the money from B and C as well? So Mr. Rahul Reddy, the authority to bind means holding the other person responsible. It means holding the other partners responsible for the actions taken. So this is the last third MCQ that we are doing, and then we'll wind up because it's already 1:05 and you have another session also at 2. Dinesh Shingle, you can send your query once again. I have just read your name now. All right. Are you sending me the correct answer for the third one? Is it yes or is it no? Also give me reason if possible. Why you say yes or why you say no for this. We have already done this one in the class once earlier also. Mr. Ingle is answering. Arnab, how to revise business law? So you revise whatever we have done in the class today. I told you earlier also 7 to 7:30 p.m. every day whenever we have class in the evening, 7 to 7:30 p.m. You should all sit and revise the session so that you never forget it. So very good, children. BK, Mohan Krishna, Ganga, Komal, Shri Vishak, Dhairya, Kusum, Sunil, Nikita, Pushpa. So many of you have answered it correctly. Nafisa. So the correct answer is yes, definitely. He can recover the money from B and C. And those who have answered why, because it is based on the relationship of mutual agency. The partnership relation is based on mutual agency. If any of the partner has done the act for the purpose of business. So this was underlining line. अगर उसने घर के लिए फर्नीचर खरीदा होता, then can D recover the money from B and C? Then the answer would have been no. So very important that he has purchased the business furniture for the purpose of business. Then only he can recover the money from other partners also. No, Miss Vanshika, this is the only platform for asking your queries. So you can send me your queries here. All right. So with this, we'll just put a stop here because we have done lots of information has been loaded with all of you today. So balance and MCQs we'll begin in the day after tomorrow's session. So have a nice, happy Republic Day. Enjoy your holiday and do keep revising your context and partnership. First chapter we'll be completing on Thursday. We'll complete this first unit with the types of partners and also take up your queries if any are still left. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, children, for sending so nice, wonderful wishes. Goodbye. Thank you.